So today we're going to be doing some coloring with these types of markers here. And we're also going to be using these microns to draw Ironman. Well, actually not to draw him, but actually rather to color him. So I already had this sketched out. This isn't a drawing lesson. This is more of a learning how to color and experiment with these markers. So we're going to get into it. I am using this type of paper, is this right here. It's marker paper by Strathmore. It's nice and smooth, and that way the markers are less likely to bleed. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take our micron, and I have a 10, an 8, or excuse me, a 12, an 8, and a 10. So I'm going to be using the 10 because it's right in the middle, and you can see that it's not too thick and it's not too thin. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to outline some of this stuff. Okay, so we're going to come in here and we're going to start to outline these lines. See how nice that is? What I like about these is these do not bleed. These, if you use these, you're going to be able to see that these are very nice, pen markers. I think you're really going to like them. So let's start laying in some lines here. Nice smooth lines. I'm going to wait and do that with a thinner one, maybe the 8. Because that's up at the top. When you're at the top, I don't want to have that too visible. We're going to have a white line at the top, but here you get to see the difference. See that? Much better. In fact, I think I'm just going to go with the 8 to see what we can do. So now we can start laying in some of these. See that? Just like that. Now I know some of these spots here, these are going to be dark. So I can actually start coloring some of these in. Just like that. And you can do whatever you want. When you draw something, it doesn't have to look exactly like whatever you're trying to draw. It's totally up to you. You can do whatever you want with it. You see what we're trying to do here is we're just trying to lay in some lines. That's all we're trying to do. See that? Lay in some of these curves. See, this is a nice natural motion. That's what we're doing. Now we're not going to do this whole thing. I'm going to do this section right here. That's all I'm going to do today for time purposes. There's no need to get into a bunch of other things, and do the whole thing. I might do that, maybe do a continuance, like another section, do the rest. But what I'm going to do here is we're just going to do this section today. That's all we're going to do. See that? Just like that. Just going to lay in that section right there. Just like that. Just going to leave this go. We're going to start laying in some color here shortly. You can come across here, start laying in some of this. We're going to do a little bit of this. See that? Boom. Just like that. That's how you can do that and lay that in. Just like that. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do with the color. So what I can do here is I want to start with a lighter kind of red orange type deal, so that we can go over top of it then and make it darker. So I'm going to start coloring this in. I'm going to just do it just like we were coloring a coloring book. See that? Just like that. Stay within the lines. That's what we're doing. I don't want to go over that black for fear of bleeding, although I don't think it will, but it may. So we're going to do that. I'm also going to come in here, hit these other couple sections. See that? Now you can come in here and do these straight lines at the edge. You can also do little circles like that. I like to do nice big lines like this, just back and forth. I don't want to play around too long, but I think you know what's nice is you see how that's starting to blend. It all kind of bleeds together. It's really nice because you don't have to wait. You know, it's not going to dry super fast, but it's going to dry, and you're not going to have all those lines as with normal markers. See that? Just like that. So now we have that laid in there, right? There's a little bit more red down here. We can clean all that up. There's going to be shadows in there and everything. All right, now we can come in here, start laying in a little bit of a gray, which we can just come up like this. I'm not going to do the whole thing. See that? Just like that. This is like a metal, so we're going to make it look shiny. We're just laying in some foundational colors. Come in here. We can lay this stuff in right here. See that? Barely touching the paper there. See that? Come in here. Just going to do part of that today. Finish that another day. Just want to show you an example of mixing. I'm going to use marker, and then I'm also going to be using colored pencil and even a little bit of pen to blend. So that's what we're going to start to do now. Now we got to look and say, okay, well, where are the shadows in here? Well, I know some of this. I'm going to come in here and use this 12. What we're doing is there's shadows underneath this. This is like stacked. So this is on top of this and so on going down. So we're going to take this and make it dark like that. We're going to shade like that. So let me show you how we're going to start off doing that. So I'm going to start off by coloring this part in, just like this. I'm only going to go over so far and color right on top of this marker. See that? We're going to do that. But we're going to come over a little bit further. All this will be tied in together when we do a colored pencil, which I'll show you right now. We can start to do this. So what we can do is we have a couple choices here. We can take this darker magic marker, which I'm going to try. We can start bringing some of this over. right? See that? Just make it look something like that, right? That's how you can start to do it. See that? Remember, we're going from dark to light. You notice how I turn the paper so that we can get a natural motion. That's all we're doing. See? Now we have two different colored reds. Now, well, we can go one more here. Let's just go down here. There we go. Now what? Well, let's let that dry a second. Now we're going to start to really define this underside, this shadowing here. So how thick do we want that? Well, going to definitely make it thicker than what it is. Let's start with this. Let's just make another line right beside it. See that? Let's just do that. And we'll see where we're at. See how that looks. See that? Starting to look like something, right? You see that little light showing there? We're going to highlight that ridge with a white paint marker. Not now. See that? Posca pen. Has a real nice point. I'm not going to do it quite yet. Now what we're going to do, we can come back in here. I'm going to try to use one size less. We're going to do that one. We're going to do that one. See that? Now what are we going to do? Well, we can start taking this colored pencil. See that? And we can start blending this a little bit. See that? Just pulling it this way. See what we're looking at here. Just gonna put right over top of this a little bit. Smooth that out a little bit. See that? Helps to blend it. See that? If you notice, it starts to make that marker smooth out. See that? That's all we're doing. Smoothing that marker out. Not putting a whole lot on. See how that's starting to look now? Wait till you see it when it's done. Now I'm going to take a little bit of brown. Come in here. See what that looks like. Brown makes a nice addition to red. And if we can't get it dark enough, then we're going to go with black. Let's see what this looks like. See that? See that? Then you can take a look at it. Are you satisfied with that? Well, I'm not. We're not there yet. How are we going to get there? Well, let's start coming in here and maybe want to take this gray. If I can get the right end. See how that can look. Can also help smooth this stuff out. See that? No, we're not near done with that. We want that to look really sharp. So how do we get this to look a little bit darker in through here? Well, there's a couple ways. You can try one of these. You can try the darker gray, Right? See how that looks? See that? You can lay some of that in there. And then I just lay a little bit in there because I'm going to fine tune that with a colored pencil. I can lay some of this in here. See that? Like that. That's all we're doing. And again, all we're doing is we're trying out some things. We're experimenting. See what we can do with these markers. You can even come up here like this if you want. You can do whatever you want. Remember that metal I was talking about? Are you starting to picture it? Now what we can do, or what can we do now? Well, I'm going to take the black colored pencil because I want to see where we're at. I want to see what we're looking at here. This black is where I can really get this to start looking like something. You see that? You can really do a lot with this black. Clean everything up. See that? Come in here like this. Watch this. Watch this all blend now. Come in here. Now watch. Pull in this way. Should be able to get a real nice smooth transition. See that? Let's try this. Then we'll take a step back and look at it. It's all about layering. Now, I'm not a cartoonist. I just play around and learn from my mistakes. I'm sure there's a million different ways, many different ways to color this, but I wanted to show you my way. And if you like it, that's great. If not, hey, that's all right too. You can even let some, notes in the comments, just let me know what you think. Maybe I'll try it, You see how that's starting to look like something? And we can do the same thing right here. So what do we do there? Well, it's a little bit lighter, but I'm still going to take now my colored pencil, if you can see it, it's on an angle. So I'm going to use, since I'm going to use that to touch the paper. It's real little, see that? Just going to come back here, right there. I'm going to just leave that little highlight. See that? Now I don't think that I can get this to look like a photograph, but I tell you, I could probably get it close. We'll find out when I finish it. But what I'm going to do here is, I like these little white areas, but I can't wait to put that paint pen on there. But I'm going to go just a little bit darker. I want this to disappear in here just a little bit more. So I'm just going to bring this pencil out like this. See that? Like a little bit more black in there. Make it a little bit more hidden. See that? Just laying that in there. See, that's how you can do that. If you ever wondered how that's done, that's how you can do that. So you see how that's starting to come together. Now look, that probably took, let's see, how long is that? 20 minutes just for that section? We're not even done with that section yet. Let's show you how to do this down here, and then I'll come back and highlight that. So I'm going to take my flat side. I'm going to start coming up like this. You see that? Just like that. We're just going to do that, see where we're at. See if we can get this to look like metal. And you know what? If you start a project like this and you don't like it, so what? Just start over, right? I've started many drawings and they didn't turn out right. Or I just started this channel to help educate, and if I don't say something right, I'm worried later if it didn't come out right. I'm worried should I re-record it? Well, you know what? I'm not worried about it. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. Hopefully you're just watching this to learn, and hopefully you learn something. So there's a nice start to that. Okay, it's not nearly done. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here. Oops, I always do the wrong end. We're going to come in here and maybe bring some of this up like that. This dark gray marker. Now these have numbers on the end, letters. What you're supposed to do is, I didn't get around to it. Just got these a couple days ago. You're supposed to say, okay, well that color's WG6. I just didn't get around to it yet. I'll figure it out. And that's how you learn. You're watching this video to learn, and you should be proud of yourself for wanting to try, because that's how you learn. Learned a lot of stuff just trying to figure it out on my own. Sometimes you have to learn by learning from somebody else who's already done it, right? Hopefully you can learn something from this. See that? Nobody taught me how to mix marker and pen. I only started doing this like 5 years ago, and did some superhero drawings and did like Superman and Batman and the Hulk. Really love working with the greens, the way they blend. It's really neat. So let's continue blending this up like that. We'll get that to look like metal. This is the start. Laying in the foundation, that's all we're doing. Some of these come up a little higher. See that? That's all right. And there's no exact science to this. This is actually coming out a lot better than what I expected. You can come in here, see what it looks like. Just experiment. Throw some of these, some of this marker in here. See what happens. It kind of smooths everything out, right? Depends on what style you're going for, but you can see a difference, slight difference. See, it brings a little bit darkness to it. See that? Don't be afraid if you come up too far and you think, okay, well, what are we going to do with that? Well, that's not a big deal. Let it dry a second. Come in here with your colored pencil. Just start cleaning it up. See that? Turn it on the sharp side. Really darken that up. See that? See, it looks so bad. See that? And the other thing I want to say is, I've said this before, but it's not always about the materials. It's about the artist. There's a lot of artists out there, obviously a lot better than me, but they can do an awful lot with very little. And it just depends on you. Okay? Now what we'll do is, we'll finish this another time, but let me come in here and because this is so close to this. We can come back and finish that another time. I'll probably do another video to showing how to finish this up. But for now, I'm worried about just showing you little things just to get you excited about working with these markers. The other thing we can do is we can come in here and just color a little bit of this in. I'm not quite sure what's going to be down here yet. Let's not worry about it right now, right? We're just doing this. Now, what can we do here? Well, there's a little trick most people aren't going to want to use, but good old Papermate pen that's coming apart. So what we can do here, we can come in here and make all kinds of little, look at that, see that little line there? We can make such little teeny lines to just highlight what's going on here. We can even come in here and see that, just little teeny. Makes all the difference in the world. I can't get that with anything else. I haven't found any pens that are smaller. I mean, look at the line you can make with that. It's like a hair. You can get such intricate detail. Come in here and see there's some damage here. That's it, some damage. See that? Some dots. Just little squiggly. See, that's all we're doing. Come in here like that. See how I made that marker disappear there? You can even come in here, see if I have a gray. Yes, I do, right here. Come in here and do a little gray. See that? Hopefully you can see that on film. Start to make that look like metal, right? This will even help blend. See that? See what it does there? It mixes. Gives like a bluish, little bit of a bluish hue. You see how we're making that look like metal? Look at that. I like that. See how you can do that? I just love this pen. We can even come in here and do that here. Do anything you want here. Come in here and make this shadow a little bit more, right in here, just like that. Do whatever you want, even in this little area here. We can do whatever we can do here. See that? Just like that. Boy, I like that. What I'll do here is we're going to make this, we're going to clean this up, bring this right down to there. So I'm going to make that a little bit thicker. I'm going to clean that up too. Clean all these lines up. See that? Just like that. Come in here. Every little detail helps, counts. Somebody's going to look at your drawing and go, wow, that's fantastic. Or, like, oh, that's nice, right? What do you want them to say? Now, let's come in here. What I'm going to do here is we're going to get a little bit more of a shadow under here. See that? Just like that. And that's starting to look real now. Let's play around with, since I'm pretty pleased with this. Let's throw in some light. And what we're gonna do, we're going to come across, I just noticed, this is where this really comes in handy. See that little ridge right there? Just clean that up. Look at that. Now we're gonna come across here. See that? Look at that. That's what we're gonna do, and that'll really pop if we throw a background in there at some point. Now you see there's a little bit of white across this ridge. Here's what I'm gonna do. You see that? And we're gonna soften that just a hair. You come in here. See that? Barely touch that. Don't want to do too much. I'm going to clean that up. You can see that? Now, what else can we do here? Well, we're going to let that dry. We're also going to make some. See that? Same thing here if we want to. See that? Once this is all done, that's really gonna pop. You can even come down here like that. A little bit of. See that? Boy, if you squint your eyes, that's what really helps sometimes. Squint your eyes, and it really helps. Now, I told you I'm going to shave this a little bit here. I'm going to trim this, tone this down just a hair, this white. See that? Down just a hair. See that? See that? Now you got to ask yourself, are you happy with that? I think for now I'm going to let it like that. What I can do is I can take this. Let's do a little bit of this. We'll do a little bit. I can finish that other part down here another time. But let's do just a little bit more. That's not going to hurt anything, right? Just going to blend this in. We'll just tie this together and then we'll be done. Go back and forth. You can do lines. It's up to you. You see how we have a little bit better of a blend. This is a little bit. This is lighter up here. Okay, we're going to come in here with the light gray. We're just going to lay that in like that. You see that? I'm going to lay that in. We could even do this. Do that a while. See that? We could even color this. Oh, what the heck, right? Let's just do it. I come in here with the 12? Yeah, I could. I already have this in my hand and it's nice and thin, and I don't want to mess it up. Now, what I'd like to do is make these a little darker for now. See that? Can even come in here. So I hope you're getting a feel for what you can do with these markers. I tell you, they're like $30 on Amazon. They're not bad. They have the fine tip and the broad tip. I love them. I tell you, I think you can have some really good results, you know, with these. I tell you, it's exciting. So what can we do? Well, we can come in here and maybe this is like metal, right? There's little highlights here. See that? Come up here. All we're doing there is, that's a V, and we're just, see, that's all we're doing, and blending that, just like that. You see that? That's all we're doing. See, that makes it look a little more 3D, and we can actually color this in as well. And a lot of artists will go through and just outline everything, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I like to do little sections at a time because I like to switch up. Like we did here, I did a real thin line, and I was okay using this for the other ones. But I think what we'll do is, let me see, I might be able to, I think I'm going to throw in a little bit more in here. A couple little, maybe make this look a little, see that? Just something there, right? See that? Maybe we'll come in here and help this out a little bit. See? Look at that. You could even bring this pen down, blend this. See that? Just like that. Look at that. Real little, teeny little lines. Well, I want to encourage you guys to use a pen like this over top of that. I mean, that doesn't look bad at all. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. Can really accomplish a lot in a very short amount of time. So I'm anxious to get, finish the rest. So I hope you enjoyed today's drawing using these markers, these Prismacolors. I love these. These are a softer lead, and it blends more. And the Pentex are fine too. And we had our microns, and then we had the Posca pen for the highlights. I recommend getting one of these too. It can really make a big difference in your drawings. And then once I have all these blacks laid in, I always come back here, and what this does is this just makes it look nice and smooth, almost like you printed it out. And you can just come in here to all of the black areas, the solid blacks, and it really, whether it's Sharpie or anything else, it really cleans things up. Look at that. Makes it look nice and solid. You can even do it through here. See that? Right up through that. just like that. So there you go.